So I was gonna ask you where are you from, but I think I should ask you where are you from?
Very fun. Uh,
Tagili, where are you from?
I was born in Israel. I grew up in New Jersey in Bergen County, and then I moved to Berlin, Germany for a long time, for about 5 years, and then back to New York City. And then I was just kind of touring for about a decade, was everywhere, and then finally settled back to right outside New York City. Yeah.
Nice. When you say touring, you mean touring the globe or like touring musically?
Musically, I was performing with a bunch of artists, playing with all kinds of people, and it made no sense to pay for a house while I was gone like 320 days out of the year.
Right, right,
But now that I'm a father of two, I need uh, some roots.
right. Or you got to bring the two on tour.
That's never a good idea. Fight me on it. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. That's understandable.
I would say that's ill-advised.
Who are you touring with? Who do you
My
work with?
well, the my so-called main artist that I was playing with was Alicia Keys. Uh, it was wonderful and has opened many doors for me in terms of like like that cosign, like okay, he's good enough to play with Alicia, so we'll take him too. And then that led to all kinds of people like Charlie Puth, Ed Sheeran, uh, Rita Ora, Ellie Goulding, The Roots, Bonnie Raitt, Carole King, all kinds of people. Sometimes they're one-off, sometimes they're like a little longer of a stretch. And then at the same time, I was also always mixing and engineering and doing stuff. So, I was trying to like get sessions together in different cities where I could, which was also sweet. So my life is basically chaos all the time. I've managed to find the perfect balance for me between chaos and order. And like whenever I have one foot too heavy in another, I pay a pretty steep price for it. But I'm in a good place now.
Give me a brief overview of your background. How did you get in this crazy industry?
Oh God. Well, I mean, the truth is that I'm a musician first. I was a singer-songwriter first, still am. Uh, and I had a really hard time communicating with the engineers and the producers because I wanted to hear some stuff in my head that I couldn't hear coming out of my speakers. And I was like, well, how do I explain um this thing that I need to hear. So then I got into recording and I said, well, okay, if you turn the EQ like this and make the compressor do that. And before I knew it, I accidentally became the engineer when my intention was to just be able to communicate to the engineer. Then I started making a bunch of shitty demos for all my high school friends. And I was, people liked them. And then I kind of made less shitty demos. And then that graduated to making, you know, actual real recordings. And it's funny, like when I was growing up and, in the late 90s, people wanted demos still. And then things went on to like A&Rs, not really, how do I say this nicely? Not really hearing the potential of the demo. So they're like, well, we just want full records. So then it got to a phase in like the early 2000s where we were just basically making like full on recordings, mix everything full on. Uh, just to see if people will get us, you know, get artists signed or whatever. And now it's like they now they even want you to have your own fan base. But that's
Yeah,
a different story. But that's how I got into recording and producing and just basically by being a musician who didn't know how to communicate and I just wanted to learn the language and I really accidentally fell in love with the craft of the sonic, the sonic part, making an idea a tangible product. It's cool.
that's a good way to become full stack, though. Just how do I make my shit sound good?
Yes, but that was not the intention. I really just wanted to not feel disadvantaged in front of my friends who were so articulate in the studio. They're like, "Oh yeah, just put some 1K on this." And I actually don't like giving engineers. Side note: if you ever really want your engineer to love you, don't tell him exactly what to. Just be like, "I want more punch. I want more. I want more clarity. I want more, however you describe it." But it's actually, I found out later on that it's not uh, the most fun for an engineer to get specific instructions because then it's like, well, just do it then. Why do you need me for?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own process. I found that, and not to be passive aggressive, I actually uh, found other engineers that did things completely different than I thought was the pro. Does that make any sense? Like if you wanted something punchy, I would have one way to get there, and a different engineer would have another way to get there. And there's not one solution of making things feel a certain way. And I found that if I didn't give someone specific instructions of like, here's how I do it, do this, put 1K compressed, 4:1, whatever, and just instead said, can you make this pop out more? Can you make this behave a certain way? I oftentimes would learn something from another engineer because I didn't impose my method of getting that result. Does that make
Hmm.
sense at all?
Yeah, it does make sense. You left your
Okay.
ego at the door.
Yeah, basically, I was like, don't do it like I do it. Just let's make these results happen. So yeah,
Right.
definitely always leave your ego at the door.
If you're gonna tell your engineer, can I get like a 2 dB boost at 1K? Just do it. Just do it
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many people, one, can't let go of those reins, and two, they need to show the room that they know. I feel like I'm a psychologist half of the time.
Right. Low
There's something
key.
about yeah, there's something about being in a studio and like the soundproof room with all the gear and like you close the door and you feel kind of safe. You're in your own world and people. I mean, think about it conceptually. You sometimes meet people and you go, okay, let's write a song about your most vulnerable moments. By the way, my name's Hanan. You know, but
Yeah.
but it works and people feel comfortable. I feel comfortable, and it's. I can't think of a time where people just stayed closed off. But it's a strange proposition, like open up completely with somebody you've never met before and just in a soundproof room. It's wild.
Yeah. Open up completely and tell me things you wouldn't tell your therapist.
Right, literally. I mean, the best songs are kind of like the songs where you go, why are you writing this?
I feel like people don't talk about the psychology component enough. I mean, at the end of the day, like we're in the creative business, and a big part, especially if you're not the artist, like in
Mhm.
your case, you're the engineer for a lot of these sessions, it sounds like. So your job, correct me if I'm wrong, is to unlock something in the person who's actually doing the performance or doing the singing. And to do that, a psychology degree might do you well.
Might do you well. Yes. I would say that's more of the producer's role, which I am also like I do produce a lot of records, and that was sort of my example earlier. Like if I'm in the producer's chair and there's someone else engineering, which is not often, but it does happen sometimes. That's when I would like not give the specific directions. But I would say the engineer's job is actually not to communicate so much with the talent and leave it to the producer unless they're the same person.
Right.
Um, Also a good lesson. Don't talk too much when you're supposed to talk to the artists.
Right.
I've done
So
some irreversible damage. You know what the most offensive word is in show business I discovered?
what?
Actually. Hey, that actually sounded pretty good.
Actually, what do you mean?
What do you mean actually? What did you expect me to sound like?
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a
Yeah,
backhanded compliment.
actually is the most offensive word ever.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
that was really good, man. That was on time.
introverts entering the music industry, take note. You might want to be a mix engineer.
Yeah. Or really you know, make some mistakes in safe rooms. I've made some glorious mistakes.
You have to. It's the only way to
You
learn,
have
man.
to. You have to make mistakes. You're gonna offend some people. So I have these stems. You see them?
I do see them.
So I drag them and drop them. Sweet. Oh, look at that.
So you made this song with what's his
Story
name?
of my
Can
life.
you share his name?
Yeah, Jerry Mack. He's awesome. He's a local guy here in New York whose music I love and I've known for a long time. And we just decided to cut some stuff, and it's really cool. And it's this like Latin jazz thing, and I'm just kind of mesmerized here by the display. It's so cool that it's you can actually see the regions kind of, well, not the regions, but you see the waveform and you know where the events are taking place. It's cool.
Yeah, and if you want, you can zoom in a bit. If you want more, detail.
No kidding. Can I
Uh,
skip to this? Playback. Can I skip?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. And I like that it's blue behind. All you doll makers, take note.
Before we started this, Hanan was going through all the stems on his drive and like rattling off, oh yeah, that's Charlie, that's Rihanna. Oop, can't play that. Get sued for that. Get sued for that.
I didn't realize we were gonna go public. I thought I was just getting a demo, but this is cool.
Yeah, it kind of just forced this upon you.
I
But I
can't really
appreciate.
publish publish unreleased stems. I think. By the way, this is not mixed. I'm just playing you stems that we created for this purpose.
That's right. This is a no judgment zone.
That's cool, man. All right, so that's what it sounds like, basically.
Can you
You got
solo the horns?
the horns are killing. Ba-ba-da-dee-doo-doo. How we go? Some great solos back here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that's great. That's Karel Ruzicka, amazing saxophone player out of New York. Yeah, no, he's one of the greats, I think. And Charles Blenzig and Keys and Jerry Mack and Hammond. There's some great players on here. I think
And
Alex Foster might be playing horn too. Some great players, man.
what about the bass?
Bass, I believe, is Charles Blenzig playing key bass. I
You
actually
solo
played
that
bass
one?
on some of these. I don't know if this is this a key bass? Because I played on some of these. I don't remember. Yeah, it's key. That's super cool. And I noticed it responds to the space bar, which is very intuitive for anyone using a DAW.
Oh yeah, it's a must.
That's great. And does it? That's cool. So it stops and goes for wherever the playhead is. I
Yeah.
like it. This is great. I send a lot of stems, and basically you're eliminating the last stage, which is open up a brand new session and import everything to make sure that it's in time. And again, this is not like a fully mixed song. I just grabbed this out of the session, but the fact that I can verify that everything lines up without having to like deal with a new session, just and right, these are 6 stems, but sometimes I send 57 stems. So this might be a really cool way to skip importing a whole lot of. I mean, when I did Mean Girls, I had to prepare big mix sessions for Manny Marroquin, who's amazing and needs no introduction. But we ran into a time constraint, so I had to mix all the score, and he had to mix all the numbers. So I had to get all the stuff to him, and it's like, well, how do you get stems on a 8 9 minute long 500 track session? So I had to basically bounce everything and then recreate a whole session just to verify. And then I sent him the session to Manny and Chris Galland. But this would have been a tool I wish I had because it would have saved me a lot of hours. There's Rose. That's cool, man. Vibes is Yeah, man, I love this stuff. Oh, you want to talk about some great players? Daniel Sadownik playing percussion on this. Ooh wee. Listen to this. Yeah, we tracked all that stuff live with Daniel, man. I mean, he just kept on layering and layering and layering, and it was like one take, Timmy. Everything was just good to go. And Daniel plays from like Taylor Swift to like Beyonce to whoever. And then I was like, yo, we're doing a Latin project. Come on in. And it was like driving a Rolls Royce. It was just like put the mic on him, get a sound, which is like you have to be deaf to not get a great sound of Daniel. And then he just went and did that. And it was like, okay, I don't know, do another, do another. It's so fun when you have those days where people come in that are just so great at what they do, and you get to be a music fan, and not like a fixer. So I'm certainly a fan of everyone that's on this record, and I can't wait to mix it. And then if I
Um,
wanted to send this to you, I would just put your email here, right? And then it would.
that's right. You read my mind. That's the closing tradition.
Hey, don't I have it? I have it here, don't I? Look at that.
There she is. And then you can choose, by the way, which permissions to give me.
Oh, that's great. Can download, can edit, can view. Interesting. Also, you can add. So, like for example, if we were collaborating, could I send this for you to edit, and then you would just add files? Is that right? Like you could add layer and have it live in this format?
Exactly.
Oh, that's sick. I love that.
Oh, this is probably relevant for you. Actually, probably not relevant for you because of who you're working with. But for an engineer who's not working with the caliber of talent that you are, can view no downloading is more relevant. Let's say like someone didn't pay you yet, and they're like, "Yo, send me the stems, send me the mixed stems." I might not pay you, by the way. Then you want to choose that sucker.
Hey, want to hear something really lovely?
Yeah,
I used to think that the higher up I went in the music industry, the more straightforward people will be. Same shit.
you're kidding.
I won't name any names, but I've had songs that were number one on the Billboard charts that I waited like over a year to get paid for.
No way.
I'm telling you.
Grinds my gears, man.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, we won't
Well,
turn to a venting session, but certainly where I'm getting at is I love the feature and I will use it for every client if I need to.
awesome. Yeah, we better end this before I start
Let
venting as
this be a
well.
warning to you all.
Yeah, yeah. Let's end on that. Let this be a warning.
Let this be a warning to you all. Perfect. Well, this is great, man. Thanks for building it. I think it's a really cool solution to a real problem.
Of course. Yeah, I hope you like it.
I love it. And I think and I'll say this since we're in the compliment phase, till you use this, you don't really real like even now, just looking at the waveforms, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I had a problem. But the truth is I waste too much time checking my stems. Why was I ever not using this? It's good,
yes.
man. Congratulations. I hope this goes far. I'll certainly spread the word.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's super nice of you.
Yeah, yeah, this is awesome.
The goal is to just support our people, our musicians, our producers, our engineers, our composers. If you like music, then you should support them too, however you can.
All right. All right. And
That's
let me ask you a question. Have the reviews been like positive? Are people really? I can't be the only one who loves this.
the reviews have been great.
Yeah, this is awesome. I want to change it to can view, as you haven't paid me.
There we go.
And on that note, I will share it with you.
Nice. Perfect. Take
Woo.
note, people.
No do re mi.
Love it. I haven't heard that. No do, no do re mi. That's great. Well, thanks for doing this.
Thanks for
And
showing me.
of course, we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of
All
your
right.
day.
Later. You too. Later, bro.